Hey, 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 happy Wednesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Daily Dope is in the air. Howdy, 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 gang. Yes, I'm Jeff McAleer, back once again as your host here at The Daily Dope, presented by thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the Grand Poobah. So, welcome aboard. It is Wednesday, November 13th, 2019. This is episode 391 of The Daily Dope. Already got chat hopping too. So, as I like to always start off the show pointing out, if this is the first time you've tuned in, be it you're live or watching on Memorex, this is very, very casual. This is not rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. Just kicking back and talking about tabletop gaming for the most part. Sometimes we discuss other pop culture items as well. So there is chat available on YouTube if you are watching live. So it is not on screen. It's one of the ways that I keep some of these stranger commenters at bay, but I do pay attention to chat. So if you'd like to say howdy, or maybe you've got a question or a comment, hopefully not a concern, but regardless, if you'd like to chime in, please do. I will respond. And of course, if you like this video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. And if you do, don't forget, ring that little bell, because not only will it notify you of standalone videos that I upload, it'll also tell you when the stream goes live, within about a minute or so. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. You know the drill by now. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Be sure to tell a friend. In fact, tell 2 friends. So who we got cooking so far? We've got Dan from No Enemies here. We've got John Vogel. We also have Hubcam210 in chat at the moment as well. So welcome aboard, everybody. Wow, my YouTube channel has been busy compared to how it usually is. Not compared to, say, like the Dice Tower or something like that, but I did my my first look at the Eberron Rising from the Last War supplement, the new source book that's coming for Dungeons & Dragons. This is actually the alternate cover because I have the regular cover edition upstairs because I started reading it. So I did a first look video, did a page through, and have seen about, well, I believe right before I went and started the stream, it was at about 3,200 views. So in the first less than 2 days, it's pulled in 3,200 views. And funny thing is, somebody put it on Reddit, and that's where a lot of the traffic is coming from. So I'm like, wow. I was like, very, very cool. So unfortunately, I can't put stuff up on Reddit because I'm not a contributor on Reddit too often. So if I try to put something up, they think I'm trying to advertise, which I guess I'm kind of trying to share the word anyway. So I guess maybe they're closer than I think. Anywho, so I thought that was really cool. I thought that was very nice. Kabuki Kid is in chat, popping in. Good to see you, Double K. Before I jump into the news, do want to mention I watched the Mandalorian premiere episode yesterday. Actually, last night after I did the show. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great. To me, it almost seemed like there was just a little too much energy devoted to little Easter egg kind of things where it's like, oh, hey, I know that. Oh, hey, I know that. So, plus, you can't tell me that we're going to go, what is it? I think it's a 10-episode season. We're going to go 10 episodes and the character's not going to take off his helmet. What is his name? Mando, I think it is. I'm hoping not. I mean, to me, that's silly. We already know that Mandalorians can take their helmets off. We already know that, right? Jango Fett. Anyway, but I thought it was pretty good. I don't know if I'd subscribe to Disney Plus just for that, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But there's a lot of Marvel shows that are in the pipeline for Disney Plus. In fact, in my opinion, it might be a few too many Marvel shows, because getting the feeling they're going to kind of spread themselves a little thin. But we will find out. We shall see. So, Flaming Huron's in chat as well. Nick Level Max has popped into chat. For some strange reason, I believe this might be Nick Level Max's first visit in chat. So welcome aboard. We got a good chat popping so far. So do want to mention, for those of you who pay attention to what's going on behind me, I know it's a little bit out of focus, but it's supposed to be, especially if you're watching like on a TV. I'm supposed to be in focus. The background is supposed to be a little out of focus. It's an artistic thing. I said artistic, not autistic, okay? But, something new behind me. I don't know if you'll notice. I know last time I put something up that was new, I think it took about 3 minutes and somebody was like, oh, hey, it's this. And I was like, sure enough. So anyway, let's jump on into the news. It is a Wednesday, and of course, I used to cover war games on Wednesdays, so let's do a little wargaming news. Because Tiny Battle Publishing has a new wargame pre-order that's available. I've got the dope on Rifles in the Peninsula. Whoops. Oh, no. Oh, for crying out loud. Hold on a minute there, gang. I was so busy doing stuff today that I've got all my news slides set up. I just forgot to transfer them over to the news folder for the show. I knew I was forgetting something. All right, here we go. Almost done. Ay. Can't believe I just did that. So what I've actually been doing lately, as I kind of discuss things as I'm putting this stuff together here, okay, there we go. I was like, wait a second, why didn't that just paste over? Now it did. Anyway, you're gonna get to see things ahead of time because I'm gonna get rid of some of these other slides that don't belong, or add slides that are supposed to be there. So what I've started to do is I try to get everything for the show ready, and then I actually will try to get the news pieces done ahead of time as well. So that's what I've been trying to do, and that's what I was doing right before I started the stream. Is I was actually doing all the news pieces for the website, and forgot to move these over. Yeah, okay.
Spring has sprung in the Sweetwater Grove. Flowers are blooming, bees are buzzing.
All right, almost done here. Yeah. Can't believe I did that. Well, it's a live show. Told you before, this is not rocket surgery. Good thing too, because if it was, that rocket would be toast. It would be toast. Yeah, Flaming Huron's like a well-oiled machine that's broken down, but is very well oiled. Yep. I used to be very well lubricated a lot back in my bartending days. So, new cup celebrating the season now. So there we have that. All right, let's jump back into the news that I've got correctly set up, as I suddenly feel a sneeze coming on. Anyway, Tiny Battle Publishing does have a new wargame pre-order that's available. I've got the dope on Rifles in the Peninsula. There are only two forces in the world, the sword and the spirit. In the long run, The sword will always be conquered by the spirit, said Napoleon Bonaparte. Rifles in the peninsula, which I would have thought it would have been rifles on the peninsula, just sounds more grammatically correct, is the third game of Gottardo Zancani's Solitaire Rifles series, which also includes rifles in the Pacific and rifles in the Ardennes. The focus of this new title is on the Napoleonic Wars. Rifles in the Peninsula introduces new rules that cover unique aspects of the Napoleonic Wars, including mounted troops, formations, and the impact of the longer reload times of the weapons of the period: pistols, muskets, and rifles. The different attributes of the units, combat factors, quality, and special traits of grenadiers, voltigeurs, cuirassiers, and dragoons are also part of the proceedings. The campaign game has been greatly redesigned, is now based on the timeline of the main campaigns of the period. The new glory track will represent the career of the leader of your units, your avatar in the game, and your rank will have a direct influence on the game. Each year, the campaign includes 4 to 6 main scenes. A scene can trigger one mission on the battlefield or a campaign event. 12 different missions are available, covering classic military duties like reconnaissance, as well as iconic battle episodes like the capture of a gun. Campaign events are resolved without the need to set up the battlefield and cover episodes like barracks inspections, I'm not making that one up, field maneuvers, and of course, duels. As a bonus, an optional mini-game, The Duel, inspired by the movie The Duelists, has been included in the package. This mini-game allows players to recreate a saber duel with a more personal perspective, providing an additional level of immersion in the historical period. From thundering muskets to rattles of sabers, Rifles in the Peninsula vividly recreates Napoleonic skirmishes like never before. Rifles in the Peninsula is for one player. It is a solitaire game. It's for ages 14 and up. Plays in 1 to 2 hours, and you can pre-order right now for $32. You can expect shipment in December. So this is the third in the Rifles series. So we had World War II. Now we are moving back in time to the 19th century. Could be interesting. I have played Rifles in the Pacific once. I need to play it a couple more times to get my review out. So I will not say anything about it just yet. All right. Anyway, next news piece. There's a game that's focusing on my hometown. It's on the horizon. It's from a company called Transit Tees. It's coming next month, and I've got the dope on L, the Chicago Transit Adventure. Welcome to Chicago. There's lots to do in the Windy City, and you have a full itinerary. Make your way around the city using the famous elevated L trains to visit places of interest and return to the State Lake Station before anyone else. We always call it State and Lake. Strategize your optimal route by utilizing trains and buses, but be prepared for detour. Keep an eye out for stations undergoing renovation and be sure to carry enough transit tokens to pay for your fare. And of course, you're not the only person riding the trains. Other travelers might just throw your plans for a loop, as in Chicago Loop. Pun intended. Pack your bag, gather your friends, and set out on your Chicago Transit Adventure. L, the Chicago Transit Adventure, is for 2 to 8 players, ages 13 and up, which I'm like, what? This does not look like a 13 and up kind of game. Though it might be because of the small pieces. There's little wooden L train cars. Maybe they figured people could swallow those. Game plays in about 30 to 60 minutes. I'm going to take a guess that's determined by the number of players. And it will carry an MSRP of $40 when it arrives in December. So I saw this. I thought this was kind of interesting. It's strange, though. I mean, the game board is just basically the transit map that you see on like buses and trains, mainly the ones on the train. So I don't know. This could be kind of a cool game. Could be just a roll and move kind of thing. I don't know. I do not know. So I might reach out to these folks because this is a local company. Transit Tees, I guess, is all like Chicago branded and all Chicago made stuff. So Dan says kind of like Alan R. Moon's game. Could be. I am not necessarily familiar with which one you're talking about. What is the one game that... Is it Luna? I think it's Luna. Didn't Alan R. Moon do that? Even though that's kind of weird, right? Moon is the last name and Luna. I don't know. For some reason, I thought he's the designer of that game. Oh, Ticket to Ride. Jeez, thanks, Dan. Actually, this doesn't look anything like Ticket to Ride. That's like I couldn't think of, like, what is he talking about? Dan doesn't play that kind of game anyway, Ticket to Ride. Why, I oughta... I'm just kidding. All right, Mighty Boards, and kind of with an assist from my pals over at Greenbrier Games, have an expansion to the action game Vengeance. It's up on Kickstarter for crowdfunding. The project is almost over. It actually ends day after tomorrow. But I've got the dope on the director's cut of Vengeance, or better yet, Vengeance Director's Cut. As you dodge, roll, and reverse blade your way into the room where the boss is hiding, you lock eyes with Donna Immaculata, your lifelong nemesis, and cut! No, this won't work. This scene needs to be more snappy. Swap that scrawny grunt for a tougher guy. The hero needs to earn his final showdown. The Director's Cut expansion adds a layer of direct player interaction as players alternate in taking the role of a Vengeance movie director. Players can influence the action by playing director cards during another player's fight phase, activating minions and bosses, as well as triggering directorial changes that break the fourth wall, such as changing extras in the scene or changing the scene altogether. The Director's Cut expansion also includes the brutal Immaculati gang and a new hero, Napoleon? I think it's supposed to be Napoleon. My name is Napoleon. Napoleon is hell-bent on taking down Donna Immaculata, the leader of the Immaculati gang, who framed his family for a smuggling operation into a rival gang's territory and then had them murdered brutally in a swimming pool outside the city. Strange backstory there. Finally, this expansion also pumps the narrative punch of the game, adding hero perks, new abilities that are specific to each hero and fit their backstory and story missions. Story missions replace the standard missions, and similar to the solo missions, are hero-specific missions that are based on their backstory. In short, it's one hell of a sequel. There is a short Kickstarter video for Vengeance Director's Cut, so let's take a peek.
Some wise man once said, "The axe forgets, but the tree remembers." I've suffered beatings, I've suffered torture, I've seen my family butchered before my eyes. I've waited a long time for this moment. It's time to get even. Those beatings would have broken many. They just made me stronger. All I know is I've ground my hate to a fine point, and that point is going straight to Immaculata's heart. But first, I have to work my way up the ranks, chopping the devil's limbs one by one. Time to roll. their faceless bodies fell, one after the other. But only the sound of her head hitting the floor will satisfy my thirst for vengeance.
Cut! Let's take it again from the top. And action!
Vengeance Director's Cut is for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, and the game with the expansion plays in 30 to 150 minutes or so. The expansion is over 200% funded, and it does end on November 15th. You can secure a copy for a $30 pledge, or you can score the core game if you don't already have it, plus the expansion for a $120 pledge. Expected delivery is August of next year. So, while that video was going, Viper Dave popped in. Good to see you, Viper Dave. Also, Dan from No Enemies Here was talking about he's like, would you believe it? But I had an aunt named Immaculata. I believe you. El Duce, I believe it. Anyway, I'm glad to see Mighty Boards making some changes because, and strangely, for some reason, I think it's possible that Mighty Boards is kind of going to kind of be like a auxiliary company of Greenbrier Games. Because Greenbrier Games is who publishes their stuff, so don't know. I liked Vengeance, the original core game, except I had some quibbles with it. One was that if you were playing with multiple players, when it wasn't your turn, you weren't really doing much. So, kind of a downtime problem. Plus, you didn't have a whole lot of interaction with the other players. Plus, it had miniatures, and the miniatures were very cool. But the reality is, once you'd set up for the building that you'd go into, they didn't move. They just stayed kind of in the same spot. They were static. So it kind of was one of these games where I thought, didn't really need miniatures. So, anyway. But I liked it. I thought it was a cool game. I think it's a pretty cool game. So, this expansion actually gives the other players something to do while everybody else is just kind of, taking their turns, right? So I also like the montage kind of stuff that they do in the game because it's supposed to be like a revenge movie. So, pretty sweet. Pretty cool. So, if you are a fan of Delta Green, I've got some good news for you because Arc Dream Publishing has released the latest source book for the role-playing game. I've got the dope on The Labyrinth. Mystery attracts mystery. Born of the U.S. government's 1928 raid on the degenerate coastal town of Innsmouth, Massachusetts, the covert agency known as Delta Green opposes the forces of darkness with honor, but without glory. Delta Green agents fight to save humanity from unnatural horrors, often at a shattering personal cost. Delta Green: The Labyrinth takes Delta Green agents beyond the Beltway and deep into the fissures of America in the new millennium. From the loathsome servitors of the 1% to the hardscrabble faithful of the Rust Belt, from the abusive warrens of the internet to the lonely chambers of every human heart, from the toxic legacy of the Cold War to the doomed idealists trapped in a world they cannot save. American life has entered a labyrinth of twisty passages all alike. And while there are many ways in, there is no way out. Written by Delta Green co-creator John Scott Tynes, this all-new collection of organizations presents the ready-made sources of allies, enemies, mysteries, and surprises for your Delta Green campaign. Center for the Missing Children, the Dream Syndicate, Agent Renko, the Witness Alliance, New Life Fertility, the Lonely, the Sowers, and the Pranacidality. Not sure what a Pranacidality is, but it's in this book. Each group has its own story arc, progressing through 3 stages as it encounters Delta Green agents and the evils they fight. Some groups corrode, wither, and die. Others gain hideous strength and uncover profound new horrors. Damn you, horrors! Especially those profound new ones. Each has connections to other groups, ensuring that players find fresh hells at every turn. But all are destined to change. The journey each one takes holds up a mirror to the agents themselves. Because things fall apart, the center cannot hold, and once you enter the labyrinth, you will never escape. The 184-page PDF of Delta Green, The Labyrinth, is available right now at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. Sweet! Do want to mention, where do I got it? Here we go. I will have my review of the Adventure Supplement Control Group up by the end of this weekend. Trying to get it done before Friday, but I'm not sure. So I will have it no later than this weekend. So cool to see some new Delta Green available, even though if it's only in PDF. I like PDFs. I like Drive-Thru RPG too. Speaking of Drive-Thru RPG, Goodman Games has released the latest Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar adventure, and here's the dope on Grave Matters. It's a level 2 adventure set in Lankhmar. Skullduggery and sorcery in the streets of Lankhmar. Herein you will find 2 adventures set in the seedy underworld of the city. In the first, the party must steal back a stolen sarcophagus from the grips of a macabre smuggling ring. The second concerns a band of questionable heroes thrown together by misfortune who must fight their way out of an unearthly wizard's lair. A perfect way to start a new DCC Lankhmar campaign. Both demonstrate that there's no dearth of thrills, dangers, and of course wealth to be found in and under the city of Lankhmar. Do you have what it takes to make it through the night? This is officially licensed from the estate of Fritz Leiber. Grave Matters clocks in at 20 pages. It is available in PDF right now at Drive-Thru RPG for $6.99. Sweet! I love me some Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. Oh, yeah. Plus, this is written by Michael Curtis. And Michael Curtis is really, really well respected as far as adventure creations. So he's probably put together some of the best DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics adventures, alongside Harley Stroh. I think his last name is Stroh. Might be wrong. Just pulling that, off the top of my head. Those are the 2 big names as far as Dungeon Crawl Classics adventures, as far as I understand. All right, so that is it for the news for tonight. Kind of zipped right through the show today. Also, want to keep in mind that I will have my review of Adventures in Middle-earth, Erebor Adventures. This will be up by the end of the week as well. I am doing my best to make sure that I have the Eberron, I almost said Erebor. Eberron, Rising from the Last War. It just, that subtitle just seems strange. Shouldn't it be Rising from the Ashes of the Last War as opposed to Rising from the Last War? Don't know. I will have a review of this before this comes out on the 19th. And I thought how you had to laugh because someone had commented on the video for my first look and page through. And they were like, oh, you got all this stuff wrong in your video. You know, if you're going to do a review, you should at least, read the book. I was like, no one said this is a review. It's like, where did you get the idea it's a review? There's nothing that says I'm reviewing this book. I gotta be honest, I love how, I'm not gonna go on a big rant, but, and I'm sure most of you out there as well, the folks that you deal with on the internet, kind of like this ass clown, so like, you're Nate's got stupid review, bad review, yeah, why don't you read the book? It's like, why don't you pay attention to the video? It seems like everybody wants to, shout out or throw out their opinions on stuff without even paying attention to it. Flaming Huron says, especially the title doesn't mention it. No, the title says it is a first look at page through. I don't know. As I bump the camera. So I'm sitting there like, that's okay. But, I just sit there and I get that a lot. Usually I'll delete those comments because it's like, you know what? How stupid are you? It's like, lately I'm like, you know what? I'll just leave it up there so other people can see how stupid they are. All right. Anyway, that is it for tonight's show. I'm in a good mood. I don't know why I was like I said, it's just, I don't know. I'm old school. I pay attention to stuff and I keep my mouth shut until I have some sort of an understanding, as opposed to being like, yeah, so, The Mandalorian, I think that's going to suck because, I watched one episode and I thought it was good, but not great. So I'm going to guess it's going to stink. How would I know? I only saw one episode. But I've seen other people out there saying, oh, this is going to be a fantastic show. And, other people go, oh, this is crap. This is horrible. So Dan says anonymity is comforting. Or I don't know if it's comforting. I think it's back in the day when we didn't have the ability to just sit there and hide in the ether and say whatever we want, under the cloak of, and being anonymous. I think people were actually, had to keep in the back of their mind, hey, if I say something really rude, this person could come and punch me in the face. Not anymore. Anyway, so I will be back tomorrow, obviously enough. So as I like to always point out, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. As Flaming Huron says, keyboard warriors unite. Anyway, if you like the video, please give it a quick thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Don't forget, ring that little bell. It'll notify you not only of when the stream goes live within about a minute or so, it will also tell you when my standalone videos get uploaded. And there have been quite a few as of late. And I got a lot more on the horizon too. So, and of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, comics, movies, TV. By now you know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, as I mentioned, I will be back tomorrow. So everybody enjoy their hump night, because it's not hump day here. Actually, for Flaming Huron, I think it's Thursday now. If I remember correctly. Anyway, so everybody enjoy your Wednesday night / Thursday morning, depending on where you live. I will be back tomorrow. And until then, happy trails. Whoa, hey. I didn't realize that you were still here. Well, if that's the case, then allow me to share the following information with you that I only have 20 seconds to do. So let's all take a deep breath. So, if you would like to subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel, please click right here. If you want to check out the latest episode of the Daily Dope, click right here. And if you'd like to check out a randomly selected standalone video, by all means, click right here. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer, and thanks for watching.